Hajj is a mandatory religious duty for Muslims that must be carried out at least once in their lifetime by adult Muslims who are physically and financially capable of undertaking the journey, which is one of the 5 pillars of the religion. This year's pilgrimage will see a record 2.6 million Muslims come together to perform the Islamic ritual for the first time since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Here in Ghana, the Pilgrims Affairs Office of the Ghana Hajj Board, the institution in charge of the overall organization of Hajj activities, were tasked to airlift over 4,000 prospective pilgrims from Ghana to Saudi Arabia, a sharp rise of the 2022 figure of 3,000. Ben Abdallah Banda is the new chairman of the Ghana Hajj Board.
Ghana this year was given a quota of 6,000. Last year, because of the COVID, the quota was limited to 3,000. But this year, we're given the quota that we used to enjoy in the pre-COVID era, which is 6,000. This year, alhamdulillah, so far, though we haven't been able to meet the quota, we've not done badly well at all. Our quota, what we've been able to get so far in terms of the number of pilgrims that have been airlifted, and the rest that are going to be airlifted will be around a little over 4,000.
The Ghana Hajj Board earlier this year announced that pilgrims will have to pay an amount of $6,500 each to be able to embark on the 2023 Hajj pilgrimage. This is a rise from the 2022 figure of $5,000. But what could have accounted to this hike in Hajj fares?
One of the reasons could be the inflation. And then because last year the rate of cedi to dollar was lower than as it is this year. And then the economic conditions in Saudi Arabia are not the same. Certain things have changed. They've increased VAT, or they've introduced VAT, which has directly or indirectly impacted on cost of services that are rendered in Saudi Arabia. Airline has gone up, accommodation has gone up, even food has also gone up. Because Saudi Arabia itself now is shifting gradually away from the free mentality, a free things mentality, to commercial. They want to commercialize everything. So every single service which hitherto was given free is now not given free. They charge money on that. In fact, this is the major reason why the thing has gone up higher than it used to be previously.
Even though there is being concerns raised as to why pilgrims from Ghana are paying higher this year, Ben Abdallah noted that this is a global challenge and pilgrims from other countries are even paying higher.
Yes, there's a rise, but it's a global rise. In every country that takes Muslim pilgrims to Mecca has experienced that. It's not peculiar to only Ghana. Some are even paying to the tune of $12,000. And then even in Germany, they are paying more than 10,000 euros. But the economic situations there are different from the economic situation here. And maybe what goes into their package may be different from ours.
The Ghana Hajj Board also has a number of committees instituted to put in place measures capable of ensuring absolute safety of the over 4,000 Ghanaian pilgrims. They include the Medical Committee, the Dawah Committee, amongst others.
The Ghana Hajj Board also has a number of teams or committees in place. We have the medical team. We are dealing with a human institution, human beings, whose ages vary. Some are young, some are old, as you yourself do know. Once we are human beings, we can fall sick. So we have a medical team with a medical professional in place here in Ghana and also in Saudi Arabia, who takes care of our teaming pilgrims in case they have an issue. And we also have the Dawah. The Dawah is a team of Islamic scholars. Once it's about ibadah, it's about worshiping of Allah in Saudi Arabia. Not all of us who are scholars in Islam. So we have this team of Islamic scholars who teach our pilgrims what they should do. For instance, in Makkah, in the process of the circumambulation, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Safa wal Marwa, for instance, what you should say. So they also lead them, and they also help them to recite the requisite verses that pilgrims are supposed to be saying. From there, where do we even go to?
There's also an advanced team that takes the lead to Saudi Arabia to ensure that the first batch of pilgrims are received and guided to their respective hotels safely.
We also have our advanced team. The purpose of the advanced team, as the name even implies, is that before even the first batch of the pilgrim leaves Ghana for Saudi Arabia, they will take the lead. And then they will wait for the first batch and the subsequent batches to come. They will receive them and then will subsequently usher them into their respective hotel rooms.
There is also a group that have embarked on this journey paying far less than what the Hajj pilgrims are paying. They do so with either Umrah, tourism or business visas, which is far less than the Hajj visas in terms of cost.
Yes, some people were misled. They were misled into believing that if you have an Umrah visa, you can perform Hajj. As a result of which, they got some sizable number of Ghanaians paying monies to them just to ensure that they are airlifted to Saudi for Hajj purposes. But you see, there is a distinction between Hajj visa and Umrah visa. They even have tourism visa. When it gets to the Hajj season or the Hajj period, you can't go to Hajj with Umrah visa, and you can't do Hajj with business visa, you can do Hajj with tourism visa. But you have those people doing that because some people have deceived them into believing that this is what, if you get that, you can do Hajj with it.
Ben Abdallah believes that this could be a contributing factor to the decline in the patronage of the 2023 Hajj pilgrimage as conducted by the Ghana Hajj Board.
It can also be one of the contributing factors accounting for the low patronage of Hajj through the Ghana Hajj Board this year.
What people do not know, however, is that one cannot perform Hajj without a valid Hajj visa, and people holding visiting or Umrah visas are doing so at their own risk, as this is punishable by the laws of Saudi Arabia.
We are hearing that quite a number has gone. But when they get to Saudi Arabia, they are then faced with the realities of the situation, which is what they were taught to believe is actually not the case in Saudi Arabia. Because as I'm talking in Saudi Arabia, there is a law in place that if you are caught trying to perform Hajj with an Umrah visa, it is punishable by imprisonment. You go to prison. After serving your prison sentence, you would then be barred or prohibited from entering Saudi for a certain number of years. I believe it's 5 years.
Ben Abdallah, however, noted that measures are being put in place to ensure that intruders do not get access to the facilities of the Pilgrims Affairs Office of the Ghana Hajj Board.
When they go to Saudi and they realize that they can't perform Hajj, then they will try to invade our premises just to mix with us so that they will benefit from our relationship with the Saudi authorities and then manage to do Hajj. But this time around, we've put certain measures in place such that an intruder will find it very difficult, if not impossible, to get him or herself mixed with us, just to take advantage of the situation in order to do Hajj.
Mr. Ben Abdallah Banda was, however, quick to note that until the entire Hajj process is complete, the board will continue to do its best in service to the over 4,000 pilgrims currently in the Holy Land of Mecca.
But I am unable to score or give the Ghana Hajj Board a mark unless we are done with our 5 flights. Go and come back. There, I'll be in a very comfortable position to assess the Ghana Hajj Board and their performance holistically and come up with a mark, whether we did well or we did very well or we did better or Ghana Hajj Board this year is the best. But as it is at the moment, we haven't crossed the river yet. We are now about 90%, or maybe I would say 70% or 50% crossing the river. It is left with us going and airlifting them back if we don't experience anything. And I'm praying and hoping that nothing is going to happen. When we get to that stage, then I should be able to tell my appointors, the person who gave us this work, the President of the Republic, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and of course, the teaming Ghanaian Muslims and Christians and the country at large that gave us this work, that this is what our assessment so far about the performance of the Ghana Hajj Board has been.
The Hajj pilgrimage, which comprises of a series of rites and rituals, is performed over a period of 5 to 6 days from the 8th to the 12th or 13th of Zulhijjah, and this occurs between the 26th of June and the 1st day of July this year. Anas Sabit, Joy News, Hajj Village, Accra.